Good morning. Bonjour. I'm going to talk about some reflections on the Van Hille theory. I am from the School of Science, Mathematics and Technology Education at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. I have two websites where some of my articles, as well as dynamic geometry sketches, are available. The easiest way to get to them is to Google my name or to Google dynamic geometry sketches, which would take you directly to these websites. Regarding the Van Hille theory, I think this has been a perennial problem in geometry education, a question that has come up time and again for teachers as well as educational researchers. Why do children who are successful in algebra or in trigonometry or other areas of mathematics struggle so much with geometry? Now, this was exactly the problem that was investigated by Pierre and Dina Van Hille in 1958 at Utrecht University in the Netherlands under the supervision of Hans Freudenthal, who is famous for his book Mathematics as an Educational Task that was published in 1973. Their main finding, an explanation of why children were having difficulty with geometry, was that they surmised that traditional geometry was presented at a higher thought level than those of the students. Now, what do they mean by a higher thought level? And what do they mean by levels? And for us to explore a little bit what do we mean by the levels, I'm going to focus on the first three levels of the Van Hille theory, which is probably most important for school. The first level is that of recognition, the second one is that of analysis, and the third one is that of ordering. The first level is characterized by students visually able to recognize figures by their global appearance. They can recognize triangles, squares, parallelograms, and so forth by their shape, but they may not explicitly identify the properties of these figures. For example, seeing that diagonals are equal or that sides are parallel, etc. At the next level, which is analysis, students are now able to start analyzing the properties of figures, and they learn the appropriate technical terminology for describing them. For example, corresponding angles, at least one pair of opposite sides parallel, etc. But they may not see relationships between the figures or between the properties of figures. It is perhaps important that at this level, particularly in a country like South Africa, where the majority of students are learning geometry in a second language, that particular attention should be paid to the language, which may be completely foreign to them. At level 3, students now begin to logically order the properties of figures by short chains of deduction, and it is at this level that proof becomes important at the level of logical explanation, but I will come back to this point a little later. They also understand class inclusions, for example, seeing that a square is a special rectangle. However, I will revisit this point later on and suggest that it is possible, from anecdotal evidence that I have, that with the aid of technology we could probably introduce class inclusion at the visual level. But this is the traditional Van Hille theory as it was postulated by them. To get an overview of the Van Hille theory, it is useful to look at what are the objects of thought at each level as one progresses through it. At the first level, the focus is on the individual figure. It is on looking at this rectangle or looking at this parallelogram that you have in front of you. And children would focus on the individual figure that they are working with. At the next level, children begin to generalize from specific individual figures to classes of figures, looking at all rectangles, all parallelograms, all squares, and at the next level they begin to think about definitions of the classes of figures. And it is important to point out that introducing figures by definitions at the first level is meaningless to them, because all that matters to the students at Van Hille level 1 is not the properties or the classes of figures or the definitions, but the figure that they are focusing on now. The structure of thought at the first level is that of visual recognition, of naming, and of sorting visually on the basis of visualization. Typically, students will say at this level, parallelograms go together if you ask them to sort because they look the same. And they would typically say that rectangles and squares and rhombi are not parallelograms because they do not look like that. Now, of course, what I'm describing here is the traditional Van Hille theory, where students have not been exposed to activities which allow class inclusion by the use of technology, and I will come back to that point. At the next level, students begin to recognize properties as characteristics of classes. In other words, they start associating with a parallelogram all the properties that it has. Opposite sides equal, opposite sides parallel and equal, bisecting diagonals, perhaps half-turn symmetry, in other words, rotational symmetry of order 2. And they may still, unless they have been exposed to specific activities, say that a rectangle is not a parallelogram because it has 90-degree angles, but a parallelogram does not have. In other words, they have this view of a parallelogram only as a figure that looks like this. At the next level, at the third level, they begin to notice the relationships between properties. For example, that opposite sides parallel imply opposite sides equal imply opposite sides parallel. Or opposite sides parallel imply opposite sides equal. Or if I construct a figure with opposite angles equal, it implies the opposite sides equal. Or if I construct a quadrilateral with bisecting diagonals, it would imply half-turn symmetry. So it is at this level for the first time they start seeing logical relationships. Let us look at the progression from the first level to level 4. I think it is important to remember, and sometimes people forget this in the Van Hille theory, that when students encounter visualization the first time, it does not mean that visualization is now finished and done with, and now they progress to the next level, and it is like writing an exam at school where you are finished with grade 1 and then you don't have to repeat grade 1. Visualization is always present, right through up until the higher levels. it may change the character of visualization, but it does not become obsolete. In other words, visualization is a prerequisite for Van Hille 2, but it continues throughout their geometric development and is present in Van Hille level 2. It is present in Van Hille level 3 throughout. And the same applies to analysis. The ordering level relies on analysis. The axiomatization level relies on analysis. So there's a continuity of all the levels, and the levels do not disappear. They just become more sophisticated as one progresses.